Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. And by California's Great America. It's amazing at California's Great America. With roller coasters and water slides, all for one price.
Ken Griffey Jr. out by the front entrance to Safeco Field, depicted in a statue. And here is Roenis Elias as he went to the mound, the starter for the Mariners tonight. Let's take a look at the weather for this game. Brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 86 degrees. The roof is open. Winds out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. It's 51% humidity. And 0 chance of rain for the next 2 days. Practically perfect in every way. Now let's take a look at the Giants batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Darno, third base, Belt, first base. McCutchen, who had a big home run to give the Giants a lead in the 8th inning on Sunday, he's in right. Posey, the catcher, hits cleanup. Hunter Pence is the DH. He had a 3-hit game as a DH over the weekend in Oakland. Crawford at short. Slater in left. He had a 3-hit game on Sunday. Duggar back in there against a lefty in center field, and Tomlinson at second, hitting ninth.
Roenis Elias. He is your pitcher tonight for these Mariners. Take a look at what he has done. It's been all out of the bullpen, 11 games, and they'd like to get 4 innings out of him tonight. Never has pitched before against the Giants. And you're going to see a fastball that's going to be low to mid 90s. He's got a really good curveball. That is his best specialty pitch, and he also complements it with a changeup. You'll see more changeups against right-handers.
Quickly the count 0-2.
Elias, 5'11", 197-pounder out of Guantanamo, Cuba. And he's got just about 3 years of service at the big league level. He'll turn 30 on August 1st.
That's a week from tomorrow. There's the big curveball, and that is a big pitch for him. But he missed with it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Belt on deck, and then McCutchen due up third. Bright backdrop for the hitters. The pitcher and the hitter both in the dark shadows. Darno bounces a foul. Darno, 31 years old, out of Pepperdine University. Ron Wotus, he missed that one. What's happening with Ron?
Well, I mean, he's the infield instructor. You think he would catch a ground ball? I mean, come on.
He did hand it to somebody wearing a Giants jersey over there in the seats.
A lot of Giants fans in the ballpark tonight. They had a "Let's Go Giants" before the ballpark, and it was impressive.
94-mile-an-hour fastball in the dirt. 2-2. You see some of the orange and black.
See them all over the city today, having a ball, enjoying the city of Seattle, which is a great town, great walking town. And this is a beautiful ballpark. A lot of them seeing it here tonight for the first time.
And the changeup high and outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Darno. Darno, who has had 8 hits and 26 at bats, including a double and 2 home runs since being called up from AAA Sacramento. Brandon Belt on deck. That is a foul out of play off to the right.
Plate umpire tonight, Carlos Torres, is a guy who I think is a pretty good zone to throw to. You'll see more belt high strikes than you do with other pitchers. And his corners at times can breathe a little bit. They may be wide one inning, a little tighter the next, but all in all, it's a pretty good zone.
Full count to Darno. In on the hands and a pop-up. Segura. 1 away.
Let's take a look at the Mariners defensively, playing behind Elias. Starting in the outfield from left to right, our old friend Denard Span, joined by Heredia and Haniger, the best arm in right field. Haniger has 9 assists on the year. Segura and Seager, they're on the left side of the infield. Gordon and Healy on the right side. Mike Zunino, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs. Has a very strong arm for a catcher.
That ball into center field. Going back is Heredia. Now he stops. And that's all for Bell.
Time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Number one, figure out the lefty mystery. The Giants, in the second half of the season, have not fared well against left-handers. Tonight, another opportunity, and they need to do something at first time through the lineup. They have not done well in that regard either. And number two, Andy Suarez, early rhythm. At times when you get to him, it's in that first inning. He needs to come out with a good rhythm, especially against this Mariners team that can score some runs. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Andrew McCutchen now. Part of that, McCutchen was a guy who, in his career in Pittsburgh, was usually very strong against left-handed pitching, but he's only hitting .256 against the lefties with 3 home runs and 129 at bats so far this year. Foul off the mask of the catcher, Zunino.
Mariners ranked 4th in the American League in batting average as a team. They hit .257, but they've only scored 11 more runs than the Giants. The Giants rank 6th in the National League, hit .251 as a team.
2 balls and a strike.
Right now, Elias does not have that curveball, man. That's his big weapon, and it's not there.
Go out of play off the first base side. 2-2. Buster Posey is on deck. This ballpark 331 feet down the left field line, 326 to right field, 376 to left center, 380 to right center, and 401 to straightaway center. In the dirt. 3-2. This ballpark, they've moved into dimensions at least a couple of different times over the years. This was really the toughest ballpark in the American League in which to hit a home run after it opened up, and for several years after. See the marker out there in center. It's a little bit deeper, just a bit to the left of that. And that is a walk for Andrew McCutchen. He leads the Giants in getting walks. Stream the Giants on the go. Great news, Giants fans. This season, once again, you can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Giants games streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app. So Buster Posey comes up. Posey hitting .283, 5 home runs, .361 on base average. Off the inside with a fastball, 95 miles an hour. Elias last pitched on Saturday in the game against the White Sox. He went an inning, gave up a run. So he's had a couple of days off since that relief appearance. And that's a foul out of play. And those Giants fans get a "Let's go Giants" cheer going again here.
Well, and I think it's an opportunity for the Giants to really gain some momentum in this game if they can get this crowd into the game early. I mean, they're lit up. They want to yell.
And a deceptive move there, diving safely back McCutchen.
Such an advantage if you can have support on the road. It doesn't happen often. When the Giants fans were doing the "Let's go Giants" chant, we looked down into the Mariners dugout. They were all looking. I don't think they're used to it.
Just got a piece of that one. The foul tip.
Not necessarily the Giants, but any team coming in here and taking over their stadium. And that's kind of what's happened right now.
One ball, 2 strikes to Buster Posey. Looks like a pretty good crowd here tonight. Not a sellout on a Tuesday night. The Mariners are having an outstanding season. 60 wins, 40 losses. There goes McCutchen. And Buster takes strike 3 call. A walk and a man left. Now Andy Suarez will take the hill. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the Mariners, there's a lot of power, but you got great speed at the top with D. Gordon at second base. Then Gene Segura, who was a big presence in the All-Star game for the American League's shortstop. Mitch Haniger, also an All-Star, right field. Nelson Cruz was an All-Star. He's the DH. Kyle Seager, the older brother of the Dodgers' Corey Seager, and he's a big RBI man, a home run hitter. Ryan Healy, the former Athletics infielder, and he's been hitting a lot of homers. He's at first. And the former Giant, Denard Span, left field. Mike Zunino, the catcher, he's got power, and Guillermo Heredia in center.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the left-handed rookie Andy Suarez. Suarez, 25 years of age, 6 feet tall, right around 190 pounds. This is start number 17, and he's been very good.
Bluffing the bunt, taking a called strike on the outside corner.
This is what you're going to see when you take your at-bats against Suarez. A fastball that can be sneaky. He can go between 91 and 95 miles per hour. He can also sink and cut that fastball. Got a curveball and a changeup. First time he's ever faced the Mariners.
He's about as far away from his hometown down in Miami in South Florida as you can get in Major League Baseball. Shallow left, and there is Slater. One away. Good man to keep off the bases, D. Gordon.
Indeed. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively behind Suarez tonight. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Slater, Duggar, and McCutcheon. Pretty good arms across the board. Crawford, Darno on the left side of the infield. Tomlinson and Bell on the right side. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Gene Segura. Segura came in as a pinch hitter in the All-Star game in the 8th inning in Washington a week ago tonight. With the game tied at 2, a couple of men on base, and he launched a 3-run homer. Left center field, and there is Duggar calling off Slater, and that is out number 2.
Well, time now for our Mercedes pivotal play. We're going to show you that home run that Gene Segura hit off of Josh Hader, and this was a 3-run shot. Pitch before that, it was a pop-up that should have been caught. It was not. He got a second life, and this is what he did, and it turned out to be the difference in that All-Star game.
In the first half, and he gives up a
So 2 down, nobody on, and here is Mitch Haniger, former Arizona Diamondback. Pretty good acquisition for the Mariners. Made the All-Star team. Haniger hitting .270, 18 homers, and 67 runs batted in to lead the Mariners.
He's a Cal Poly guy.
You keep tabs on that, I know. That's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. He was a first-round draft choice back in 2012 by Arizona in the supplementary first round. Chased.
I think it's important you establish your pitches early in the ball game. And we talked about the easiest way to do it is on a first pitch. But if you can do it in any count and put it in the mind of a hitter, especially guys with power, that you're going to be able to throw that changeup off the same arm action of the fastball, that's a weapon.
Just a bit low on the outside. Two down, nobody on, nothing in the first inning. A beautiful night, 86 degrees. Actually, the official game time temperature 83. Darno, inning over. So a strong beginning for the rookie Suarez. Hunter Pence, then Brandon Crawford coming up for the Giants.
Redwood Credit Union. Redwood Credit Union offers full-service banking for all that you love. Federally insured by NCUA.
The roof is open in beautiful Seattle at Safeco Field. The Giants and Mariners interleague play. Giants here for the first time in 3 years. Played a couple of games here in 2013. Hunter Pence at the plate against Elias. And got the low strike there. Hunter Pence hitting .228. Had a 3-hit game Saturday in Oakland. That ball bounced in the dirt. 2-1. Pence not only had 3 hits in that game, but he knocked in 2 of the Giants' 3 runs, including the tying run in the 9th inning. That's too low. And that was one of the wildest plays we've seen. It really, he hit the ball extremely hard, and it deflected off the glove of the Oakland first baseman Olsen and angled down into the Giants bullpen in right center, and Alan Hansen with his great speed scored all the way from first. 3-1 the count. Hit a squibber with some crazy spin, and Segura throws him out. Well, Friday, August the 10th will kick off a great weekend honoring Barry Bonds, and on Friday there's a special event package that will get you a statuette commemorating Barry's 35 splash hits and the rubber chicken walk counter. On Saturday, Barry's number 25 will be retired during a pregame ceremony, and we're told that that will be something rather extraordinary. A fabulous list of guests and greats and former greats who will be there to pay tribute to Barry Bonds. That ceremony will start at 5 o'clock on Saturday the 11th. Go to sfgiants.com for tickets. Last time the Giants retired a number was Monty Irvin, a Hall of Famer. And these kind of things don't happen that often. That's a ball down and away. sfgiants.com.
And happy birthday, Barry Bonds. Birthday today. And happy birthday to my son Bake. Big day in our house.
Brandon Crawford fouls a curveball out of play off the left field line.
Take a look at the spray chart, how Brandon Crawford will use the whole field basically when he hits balls on the ground. That's a StatCast, and it's powered by AWS.
Dropped down from the side, and the ruling was that he swung at it. Ramon De Jesus at third base on the appeal said that was a swing.
I don't know about that one. We should check with our StatCast AI powered by AWS. One thing that you mentioned, Elias will definitely drop down. A look from the side. Yeah, that's the 50-50 zone. Not a good feeling for Crawford, who has been in a slump.
So 2 down. Here is Austin Slater. Crawford really, ever since the calendar turned to July, has been struggling. 1-1 to Slater. Slater had a 3-hit game Sunday in Oakland. Knocked in a run, scored a run, almost hit a home run. Hit a high fly ball high up off that double height wall in right center of the Coliseum. On the inside, strike 2, 96 miles an hour with that one. Crawford, by the way, only 7 hits in his last 56 at bats, and that is a batting average of what, 125. Did he swing? No. Also, and even more notable than just the batting average, he's only had 1 RBI in his last 16 games, plus his 1 at bat tonight. And he's one of the Giants' RBI guys.
They need to get him going. Brandon Belt, same thing. Collectively, the two of them together are 17 for their last 102. And that's for what, right around 165. I mean, they need more production out of those guys. And so far this year, I mean, we've seen Brandon Crawford be stone cold at the beginning of the season and then absolutely off the charts red hot for a long time, and now he's cooled off again.
1-2 the count to Slater. And a curve in the dirt. Slater hitting .326 in the big leagues in 43 at bats this year.
I had a chance to interview Slater and Stephen Duggar today for a group of the Giants luxury suite holders, and it was a small group, about 25 people, but we had a great time. And Duggar and Slater are great friends, and it was fun to get the two of them to open up about their first experiences, their first hits, their first guys they faced, the toughest guys they faced. Hey, neither guy has played in this ballpark. They're looking forward to it. I asked them what their favorite ballpark was, and Slater said, well, it can't be ours. I have to say Philadelphia. Then I asked Duggar, I said, what about you? He goes, well, I've only been in two ballparks, AT&T and Oakland.
Left center field. And Heredia runs it down. For a moment, you thought maybe Gapper, but Heredia got to it.
Brought to you by Cresco, your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental, with 19 stores to serve you in Northern California.
Here is Nelson Cruz, the slugger, 6 feet 2 inches tall. He's been around a long while. He's 38 years old and still launching homers. He leads the Mariners with 22 homers this year. And that is a called strike on the inside.
Well, that's such a great strike for Suarez to get, because he loves that side of the plate, pitching to a righty. Let's take a look at our SoFi, and he just plants this thing. Nice little cut to it.
And he struck him out.
It's a 3-pitch SEA. Let's take a look at the breaking ball for strike 3. That's our pitch cast, brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
That's pretty impressive, a left-hander to put that guy away on 3 pitches in his home park.
That was a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Grab some pine, meat.
Almost as if to say, hello, Mr. Cruz. Always respected your career. Big fan. My name is Andy Suarez.
You know, the thing about a power hitter, though, as you see Kyle Seager, who is a power hitter, step in. I mean, you could strike them out 3 times, but that 4th time they can hit you out of the ballpark, they win. They win the night. Even with the hat trick you give them.
Giants have the overshift on for Seager. 16 homers, 57 runs batted in. That's a called strike, too, with a fastball.
Well, he's not up there looking for a fastball if he's taking that one.
Crawford and Darno shift now with 2 strikes. Crawford had been at second. Darno at short. Now Crawford goes back to short. Darno over on the right side. The actual second baseman, Tomlinson's in right field. Along the left field line, foul.
Got that in tight nice on the 0-2 count. That's good use of the fastball. You know, the one thing about Buster Posey, I mean, he has a really good sense of what a hitter looks for because he's a guess hitter. And most of these guys are. And if he senses after looking at that second strike that Seager's up there looking for a breaking ball, he's going to give him a steady diet of fastballs and just move it off the plate in on the hands.
He got it, and the unassisted put out.
Not that easy of a play for a lefty. Remember, his momentum's falling off towards the third base line, so he's got to throw it, unwind, and then come back. And a nice little grab from the backhand side. This ball gets by Andy Suarez. That's a base hit.
Two down, and Ryan Healy. Healy hit 25 home runs for the Athletics last year, and he's got 20 with the Mariners already this year. He's only played 82 games. 20 homers, 53 batted in. He hit 2 homers in Sunday's game against the White Sox here. 1-1 the count. 5 in a row retired by Suarez to start off the night. Seager, who just grounded out, hit the ball, but he did not hit it very well. That's a line drive, base hit right center. McCutchen cuts it off, and Healy is the first Mariner to reach base against Suarez.
Yeah, it looked like he went up there looking for the ball away, trying to hit the ball to right field. Nice approach. So for the first time tonight, you're going to see Suarez get into the stretch. There's the fastball, or the slider, the cutter on the outside corner, and watch how far off the strike zone he goes to get this. If you're thinking left field, you don't get that pitch. That's nice at bat. But he conceded to Suarez.
Now, if this guy's stance looks familiar, there's a good reason for that. If you're a Giants fan, it's Denard Span, the former Giant. Now, since being acquired by the Mariners from the Tampa Bay Rays, the Giants traded him to Tampa Bay in the Evan Longoria deal. Denard Span has been excellent. He's hitting .296 in 135 at bats with the Mariners. Belt's got it, dishes off to Suarez, and that is all for Span. 1 hit, 1 left, on to the third inning. Duggar will be coming up. 0-0.
Land and Climate at Giants of Land and Sea, a new exhibit at the California Academy of Sciences.
Giants nothing, Mariners nothing as we head to the third inning. From Safeco Field, I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Dave Fleming will be along in the middle innings. Dwayne Kuiper is on assignment. The bunt, but right back to the mound by Steven Duggar. And Elias throws him out.
Well, this weekend the Brewers are coming to town for a 4-game series, and Saturday the 28th is the Giants Wall of Fame induction ceremony. And you can join the Giants in honoring the 2018 inductees Matt Cain, Ryan Vogelsong, and Brian Wilson. The ceremony starts at 2 p.m. on King Street between 2nd and 3rd Street. And you can stick around after to watch the Giants take on the Brewers at 6:05. First 20,000 fans are going to receive a heat reactive mug courtesy of Bigelow Tea. Get your tickets at sfgiants.com. 3 great Giants going on the Giants Wall of Fame.
It's a fun ceremony. And there'll be some former teammates there to pay tribute as well. And those were 3 great Giants too. Kelby Tomlinson. One out, nobody out. Left center field. And that is into the gap. Heredia will have to chase it down. Tomlinson is going to keep on going. Seguras for the third. The slide. Safe! That was well executed on the relay by the Mariners. But he was called safe by the plate umpire, Carlos Torres, who had rotated over to make that call.
Well, and the decision to go to third base, that's all on Kelby Tomlinson. That ball's right in front of him. I mean, he gets out of the box. He's thinking 3 bags immediately when this ball gets by Heredia. Now he's looking at it as he's going to second, so he makes the turn. He's thinking, I'm on it. Let's go. Downshift. A belly slide. They almost pull it off. That's about as good as you could work that relay. And Segura's got a great arm.
So with 1 out, and you hear those Giants fans get it going again here at Safeco Field. The leadoff man, Chase Darno, comes up. Popped up to short his first time. Middle infielders are backed up. They're pulled in at the corners. And back over the mound. That falls in, and everybody is safe. When Tomlinson saw that it was going to fall in, he took off. He waited, had to make sure nobody would catch it. Excellent base running by Tomlinson, and the Giants have a 1-0 lead.
That is the best part of that play, the recognition that that ball was not going to get caught. So a dare, a bit of a gamble for Tomlinson to get to third base, and here it pays off. And you watch him say, okay, I'm going. He saw the Segura's not going to get that. Look, if Segura makes that play, the inning's over. Giants, they get nothing.
Man, talk about a ball that was not hit very well.
Well, no, the ball's not carrying the center. That's what you take on that.
So if you're Darno, you say, man, I crushed that ball and it just didn't go anywhere.
It's going to look like a line drive to borrow the box score. That was a jam sandwich.
Well, it's a single and an RBI for Darno, his 3rd RBI as a Giant. And he is a guy who could steal a base. He has excellent speed.
This is the first time in the last 4 games they've been able to score in the first 3 innings.
It's the first time that they've even had a hit until before the 4th inning since the All-Star break. Tomlinson with the triple with 1 out, and then Darno with it was a hit.
And what was the exit velocity?
44 miles per hour. And it seemed like he swung at it pretty hard too.
Oh, that will thrill our partner Dwayne Kuiper.
There he goes, and Belt fouls it.
We always talk about the high exit velocities, the 114s, the 117s, but Kuip, he's into the 44 miles per hour. I asked him, why do you like that? He said, well, that's because I used to hit him that way. Which of course he did. He hit 270 for 10 years, but he pokes fun at himself, and it makes me laugh.
Well, he was a pretty good bunter though, right?
He was.
Might have had a few 44 mile per hour bunts. Belt strikes out on 3 pitches. The fastball at 95 right after that curveball. Giants fans, watch the Giants and the Mariners tomorrow at 12:30 exclusively through MLB's Facebook Watch. Game of the Week. That's what it says. Anyway, follow MLB Live on Facebook to catch exclusive national game broadcasts all season long on Facebook.
Some Giants investors here coming up for the investors trip here in Seattle.
Line drive left center, base hit for Andrew McCutchen. Stopping at second, Darno. McCutchen, who walked his first time. It's the Giants, their third hit of the inning.
Yeah, that Facebook game tomorrow is going to feature Rich Waltz as the play-by-play announcer, and he'll be joined by Sean Estes and Ryan Roland Smith. There's the Giants investors. We call them our Giants historians. Why? Well, because the Giants, their love of the Giants and their love of the Giants history brought them together and kept the Giants in San Francisco, and we will forever be in their debt.
Mr. Posey, curveball, has him bending back out of the way. 1 ball, no strikes. Let's see, I saw Rob Dean down there. I saw George Drysdale. Drysdale, how can the Giants have an investor named Drysdale? Buster fouls this one out of play. 1-1 the count.
Last night we had a chance to get together and have dinner. Had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. And that group loves baseball.
A run is in for the Giants. 2 men on, 2 men out. Buster out of play off to the right. Still 1-2. Elias ahead of Buster on the count. The Giants have a run home in the inning. Elias, in his third inning of work, he has thrown 47 pitches now. Remember, he's been in the bullpen all year. He did have one game, but it was very early on where he did go 4 innings out of the pen. And that is all for Buster Posey. He strikes out for the second straight time. 2 men stranded, but the Giants ahead 1-0.
Freeze moment powered by BioFreeze. Cool the pain. We go back to May 8th. Mariners taking on the Blue Jays. And James Paxton, the big left-hander, on the mound. And Josh Donaldson grounds out to Seager. They get the out at first. So why is that significant? Because that was the 6th no-hitter in Mariners history and the first ever on the road. And in that game, Paxton had 3 walks, 7 strikeouts on 99 pitches.
Randy Johnson had the very first one. Chris Bosio, the second. Back in the days when they played in the Kingdome. Or was it I think it was Basio's no-hitter when Omar Vizquel was the shortstop and he caught the bouncer barehanded off the artificial turf right at second base to throw out the runner, figuring it was the only way he could ensure that he'd have the ball in time to get it. If you're as good as Omar, you can think like that, I guess.
Yep. I mean, he did that better than anybody.
Mike Zunino, power hitting catcher, skies one into left. Slater, one away. Dave Fleming over in the KNBR radio booth. Darren Chan, the producer and engineer behind him, and Dave will be over here in the 4th inning coming up. Dave Fleming is back in town.
Well, he woke up this morning and he was in Dublin, Ireland. Just flew into Seattle in time for the game.
In Dublin, it's approaching 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if Dave occasionally mispronounces something or his English isn't perfect, keep that in mind. That ball is hit well by Heredia. Deep. It is gone. A home run. Duggar went as high as he could go for it, but could not get it. And Heredia has tied this game. Only his 3rd home run all year.
Well, and guys down the 9th spot, I mean, with power, they're dangerous. He only hit 224 coming into this at bat, but look at the pitch. He gets a little cut fastball, middle in just above the knee, and that is his happy zone, and he did not miss it. You hit it out to center field here in this ballpark, you've got to earn it.
And the leadoff man, Gordon. They have 7 guys in a row who can all hit home runs. And then your 9th place hitter, Heredia, he had 2 homers in 214 at bats. He goes deep. Now Crawford going to have to hurry in the dirt and picked clean by Brandon Belt for the putout.
Didn't look like Crawford had a real great grip as this ball kind of rattled around. I don't know. You see right there, he had a little problem finding the exchange, throws low, and this is what Brandon Bell has done all year long. And that was not an easy dig out of the dirt. It was a high backhander, and those are not simple plays.
Very JT Snow-like.
Very JT Snow-like, very Stretch McCovey-like, very Will Clark-ish.
Gene Segura. Ball 1. Segura hit a ball very hard, but a fly ball out to left center field. A bunt, but it goes foul. We got a power hitter on deck, Haniger, and he's got excellent speed. So he thought maybe he could beat one out, but it went foul.
Well, if you've got speed, you can steal a base. I think it's a good play, and Segura can do both of those things. He's got 15 steals on the year, but I think that's the key. If you're going to do it with 2 outs and nobody on, you have bunt for base hit. You have to have the ability to steal a base and put yourself at second base in scoring position.
Yeah, the general rule of thumb with 2 down and nobody on, the idea is you try to hit an extra base hit. That's along the left field line. It is a fair ball. And he takes the big turn, but Slater hurries it back in and holds him to a single.
Nice play. I mean, he was a little awkward getting his feet up and getting enough balance to get that throw off. He knew he didn't have time, and Segura took a big turn around first. He was sniffing second base out of the box. Nice play. Austin Slater.
Second hit of the inning for the Mariners. So here is Mitch Haniger. Haniger's got 18 homers. He leads the Mariners with 67 runs batted in. He grounded out to third his first time. Ball 1. Tomorrow is a day game. We'll have it on the KNBR Giants radio network. A 1:10 first pitch. The Giants will be sending Derek Holland to the mound against Mike Leake, the former Giant, albeit briefly. The veteran right-hander for Seattle against Derek Holland. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Haniger. 1-1 the score. Dodgers and Phillies tied at 4 in the last of the 10th in Philadelphia on the out-of-town scoreboard. On the move toward the line, McCutcheon, and that's the inning. But it's tied at 1. Hunter Pence, then Brandon Crawford coming up. Dave Fleming will be along when we come back.
Fourth inning, and I'd like to introduce my partner, my pal, all the way from Dublin, Ireland, Dave Fleming.
You know, I haven't ever said that before in my major league career. I started the day in Dublin, and I'm calling a big league game that night.
Well, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Little all-star break trip
with your brother, your dad. You played a lot of great courses.
And can you believe that I show up here tonight in Seattle and it's Irish Heritage Night at the ballpark? They had the bagpipes on the field before the game.
Just for you.
Pence to third, and Seager throws him out. So Hunter, who's the DH tonight in this American League ballpark, is 0 for 2. So now Brandon Crawford. I mean, we were saying it about a lot of individual Giants hitters. Giants have found ways to score runs over these last couple weeks, but they got some guys who are looking to get it going at the plate. And Brandon's one of them, and maybe that'll help. Base hit.
I do believe that's how you get out of a slump, with walks and bloops. What puts you into a slump when you're hot is atom balls. You hit the ball hard, somebody's right at some guy, and now all of a sudden you look up, you got a 1 for 18 going, and you start thinking about it. And the way you come out, walks and bloops.
There is such a mental aspect to it. Austin Slater should be feeling pretty confident. He's been swinging the bat well. Not pretty good at bat his first time up tonight. Flied out to center field. Attack mode against that first pitch fastball.
Looking for it, got it, good swing. Mariners really want to get 4 innings out of Elias. The most he's thrown all year long has been a 4-inning stint back in June. Threw 61 pitches in that outing, so he's about getting close to what his cap is on pitch count.
Pretty good chance foul balls tonight will find their way, maybe not that one, but find their way to a Giants fans. I know you guys have been talking about it. There are so many Giants fans who are here.
The "Let's Go Giant" chant at the beginning of the game was awesome. It made us all smile because they just took over the stadium. It was impressive. It even impressed the Mariners down in their dugout.
Still 0-2.
Giants vacation group is here. Giants investors are here. It's a family trip. The luxury suite holders, they're here. And who am I forgetting? There's one more group.
That's a lot of. That's 4 groups.
The sponsors. The sponsors group is here. That's why, I mean, you went downtown Seattle today taking a walk. You were going to see some orange and black. And Giants fans do travel well, but it's great because they wear their colors. When they're out and about, they've got their orange and black on. Very cool.
Good take by Slater.
This curve ball's been a good pitch for Elias, 2 right-handed hitters. He's got Buster Posey twice. It's Larry Bear. Larry last night hosted the Giants investors group dinner there with his daughter Alana. Alana, who's going to be starting college at Brown University in the fall.
There she is, up without the hat on, sitting above Larry. Good swing by Slater again. Foul tip.
Her friend Carly, she was at the investors group last night with the hat on. They've been friends since kindergarten. She too will be an Ivy Leaguer. She's going to Dartmouth. So all I can say, both fathers were there. Both fathers are starting to grip.
Yeah, the countdown is on. For Larry and Pam, that's number 4 of 4. This fall, party at the Bears house.
Yeah. There'll be nobody there.
Slater into center field. That's going to be another Giants hit. Manfred will hold on at second.
That's at bat. He was down in an 0-2 hole.
Well, he's definitely a young hitter who will make a 2-strike adjustment. And that's going to get the Mariners talking.
Take a look. 2 strikes. You think back up the middle. Take some swing out. Get short. Perfect execution as he talks that over with Ryan Healy at first base. Hitters, they talk hitting. They don't always have to be their teammates. They get on base and they'll talk hitting with an opponent. It's an obsession.
So now Duggar. We'll see if the Mariners get the bullpen going. It's not the score, it's not the hits, but the issue is this was supposed to be James Paxton, and Roenis Elias is making essentially an emergency start. A guy who's been a 1-inning pitcher over the last several weeks out of the bullpen, doing a good job so far. Duggar 0 for 1.
Well, Elias, I mean, he has been a starter this year in the AAA level, so he has at one point in time been stretched out to where he can throw 100 pitches. But you do tend to lose that stretch, and you atrophy up when you're throwing outings of 15 to 24 pitches, which is basically where he's been out of the bullpen. A couple of exceptions. Most pitches he's thrown at the big league level this year has been 61. And that was in a 4-inning stint back in June. Saw Mel Stoudemire Jr., the pitching coach for the Mariners. It's a good one.
Duggar pops that one foul, backing out of play. It's 2-2.
Stoudemire, you think the name Stoudemire, you think pitching. Mel Sr., a great Yankee, a great big league career. The Todd Stoudemire, one of Mel's sons, and a great big league pitcher. He had a nice career. And Mel Jr., who had some time and has found his niche in the coaching ranks.
You saw Bradford, the right-hander, getting loose in the bullpen. 2-2. He dropped down from the side. And that was close.
That was a good take, and that wasn't an easy take. Say this about Elias: when he throws that breaking ball from the side, he saves it. And that was a little two-strike surprise, and he just missed with it. He's thinking, how could that guy not swing at it?
Full count, 3-2. Runner's not going. Duggar spoils it foul. Fastball. And even though that one was a few inches off the plate, that's tough to take in a two-strike situation.
Yeah, and he humped up at 95. That's been his best velocity with the fastball. And that's after that big sidearm frisbee slow curveball. That's a rough two-strike combination, or two-pitch combination.
A lot of hitters would be on their way back to the dugout. So that's a good job by Duggar to hang in there. 3-2. Just got a piece of that one. Another curveball.
That's 77. I mean, that's a big speed differential. It's a big movement differential. Elias is throwing some quality pitches at him.
I like this guy.
Kid's hanging in there. Yeah, absolutely.
His stuff is good. Giants threatening to take the lead back. 3-2. Got him.
Well, Kelby Tomlinson stepping in that batter's box. It's time for our Smart Play. It's brought to you by your Northern California Ford dealers. And this was the first hit the Giants have had in the first 3 innings of a game since the All-Star break. It was a one-out triple that came in the 3rd inning. He would later score on a base hit from Chase Darno.
One swing of the bat, and now they're game planning for you.
Well, and I think the thing that they're going to say is, look, this guy's on you pretty well right here. The guy behind him is not. So pitch this guy carefully because you have a base open at 3rd.
And they did have the option with that right-hander Bradford in the bullpen. I'm sure he's ready to go now. But they're sticking with Elias. 2 on, 2 out. Strike one swinging.
94 right by him, and that's Tomlinson's strength, is his ability to hit that fastball no matter what speed.
Laid off the high fastball. Crawford's the lead runner at second. Slater is the trail runner at first. Two and one.
Hard stuff in. Hard stuff in. And Tomlinson's a guy. I mean, he could have 0 for 25 going, but if he sees a guy well, he's generally going to put the ball in the bat hard all night long against him. And his first at bat, his triple was a bullet to left center. So you have to believe he's seeing him well. I think the Mariners are thinking, if you miss in. Don't miss out over the plate here.
He's low, 3 and 1. It would be an interesting call if he lost Tomlinson and the bases were loaded with the right-handed hitter coming up.
You're right. He might pull the trigger on Elias. 71 pitches, and that's a lot for him.
Tomlinson down the right field line toward the corner, slicing foul. Not by much. There's not a lot of foul territory as you get all the way down the lines. Generally a very fair ballpark. They have tweaked it over the years, bringing in the fences in a couple different spots, make it a little more hitter friendly. Runners can take off. 3-2. There they go. Tomlinson hits another foul.
Going at him with hard stuff. I mean, this is a no respect bat. They're just throwing country hard balls right at him. mean, this is all, I think, set up by the very first fastball that he threw by him to start the at-bat out. We saw him strike out Posey a couple times with curveballs.
Three-two. Tomlinson, another fastball.
Another fastball. And if there's ever been a curveball situation that has been set up, this is an at-bat where it is set up.
And it's so often his put-away pitch. We'll see. There go the runners. Another 3-2. Up the middle, base hit. Crawford's going to come in to score. Slater around to third. Kelby Tomlinson is 2 for 2. He's put the Giants back ahead.
I mean, I really can't explain the reasoning pumping one fastball after another at a guy who's got a strength to a fastball, especially when he's already had 2 times where he struck out the best right-handed hitter on this Giants team, Posey, on the curveball. I mean, he serves it right back up there, and Tomlinson, just like your Todd, shortens up, goes back up the middle. And remember, this was talked about before he threw a pitch to Tomlinson.
And they had a game plan, and they were stubborn and stuck with it, and Tomlinson beat him to put the Giants ahead and knock Elias out of the game. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Well, a string of just really impressive at-bats for the Giants here in the 4th inning, and they have knocked Roenis Elias out of this game. Kelby Tomlinson is 2 for 2. He scored a run. Now he's driven in a run, and Chasen Bradford takes over on the mound for Seattle.
Good solid season for the Mariners. This is his 33rd game, 5-0 with a 2.65 ERA. He's been kind of the vulture where he comes in and picks up a win. Got a fastball that can go low 90s. He'll sink and cut it. He's got a slider and a changeup.
And I do think it was interesting. Look, that's what makes the game come to life. The battle between the pitcher and the hitter and what each is thinking. But Elias never once against Tomlinson used that curveball.
Well, and again, if that's a curveball, it's good enough to strike out Buster Posey with it twice.
Well, coming into tonight, all the curveballs he's thrown in the big leagues this year, he has not given up one hit against it. Not one. 0.
Well, I mean, thank you very much. I think Kelby Tomlinson's thinking the same thing.
Now Chase Darno, who got the ripped line drive base hit to knock in the first run. Is that a little bit of an exaggeration?
Yeah, he's just done it again.
He tried to do the same thing. Gordon steps on second to force out Kelby. That's it for the Giants, but they get a run and take a 2-1 lead. Top of the ninth with the defense, bottom of the ninth with the walk-off home run, a date in Giants history that we will never forget. We're going to wait in between batters to let you relive that one with the highlights and Kipe's call. It was just an unbelievable afternoon. On Barry's 39th birthday, Nelson Cruz takes a curve from Andy Suarez for ball one. That's a game we'll never forget.
No, we will not, for two reasons. A defensive play and an offensive play by the same guy. But it was who Bonds got the big hit off of that is even better. Mike Myers, this left-handed submarine guy, I mean, he was just not an easy guy to hit. He didn't give up many home runs.
He was like the Bonds specialist. He was the guy on the team to go get Barry. That's a strike, 3-1. Well, the Giants had a 1-0 lead. Mariners tied it. Giants have gone back ahead. I know it's only 2 runs, but it is nice to see the Giants earlier in games creating some scoring chances.
Something they've not been able to do. Coming out of the All-Star break, they just could not get it going first time through the lineup.
Ripped foul.
Ball babe down there showed me something there. She was hanging in there. Don't get hurt. She's a Rawlings gal. Now, let's take a look. This thing was blistered.
Base hit. Let's remember that birthday for Barry Bonds. Why don't we?
Here comes Bonds. He gets to it. Here's his throw. It's on line. They got it. Swinging a drive. Left center field. This one is over. Never.
Happy birthday, Barry Bonds.
Indeed. And we can say it again tonight.
A happy birthday to Mr. Barry Bonds, who thrilled us many times.
I hope he's out celebrating somewhere.
Well, knowing him, he's probably on a sunset 100-mile bike ride right now.
That could be the happy place for Barry.
Great shape. Looks like he can go out and play right now.
I do believe he could. I believe if you put him in the batter's box, he would give you a good at bat.
We said the same thing about his dad, Bobby, when he was 50. In 1993, when Barry became a Giant, his dad became a coach with the Giants. Dusty Baker's was the skipper, and he had Bobby on his staff. And there was an old timers game, and this is in Candlestick, and Bobby got up the first time, and he hits the ball, and he just misses it. He comes back to the dugout, he goes, "I'm gonna hit one out."
Off the end of the bat, base hit.
And remember, it was the first year they had stands that were right behind the fence in left field. One of the improvements the investor group had done, Peter McGowan. And so Bonds comes up again in the old timers game, and he hits the ball over the bleachers in left field. Bobby Bonds did.
Yeah, we're not talking about Barry now.
And we're thinking 50 years old, come on. Well, like father, like son, and you could say the same thing about Barry. I'll bet you he can still put the ball in the Covey Cove.
This becomes a little more stressful here for Andy Suarez after back-to-back base hits. Neither hit all that hard, but 2 on, no outs for Ryan Healy, who has a hit himself already tonight.
Well, one thing that has been impressive with Andy Suarez this year is when he gets in situations like this, he knows how to get a ground ball. He can pitch for it. He's got 3 pitches that he can get ground balls with.
2-0.
But one thing he cannot do is walk Ryan Healy. So this 2-0 pitch here becomes a big pitch for him. Denard Span on deck.
Healy takes a strike.
He took that thing, a little cut action on the inside corner. Guy takes a pitch like that, especially down a run with 2 guys on, nobody out, and a guy with power who's already had a hit off him. Tells me he's looking middle away on that pitch. Those are things you remember. What side of the plate a guy looks for in fastball counts.
Posey went right back toward the inside. 2-2.
This time a slider. Now you've got a pitch to play with here. Now you can go down to the back foot slider. You can try and throw a fastball above the hands.
Or you
can try and backdoor him with a breaking ball, and that was an excellent pitch.
It didn't miss by much. But now he's got a very big pitch to make. 3-2 is ball 4.
And that's a mistake.
And the walk loads the bases.
So on a warm night in Seattle, Kurt Young going to come out and give his young left-hander a little bit of a breather. Pitch count, not really that much of an issue, but everything he's throwing right now is a stress pitch. Pitch count wise, you want to be at the end of the 4th inning, you want to be 60 pitches or less. So he's fine in that regard, but they're stress pitches. And now he needs to make good pitches. So an old pitching coach going to give a young pitcher a little bit of a breather.
Big spot in this game right here, right now, with a former Giant, Denard Span, in the batter's box. Bases loaded, nobody out. You got force play at home. That one is toward left field. Slater lines it up, and that will get a run home. Even big old Nelson Cruz deep enough to score him. It's a tie game.
Nice at bat from Denard Span, taking advantage of that first pitch challenge. And that's the problem with runners with the bases loaded in less than 2 outs. I mean, you have to be aggressive on that first pitch when you've got to get after a guy. And Span, anticipating he was going to get a good strike to hit, indeed he did. He took advantage of it. Nice at bat.
So you got Mike Zunino coming up here. Zunino dangerous because he's got so much power. He is definitely a candidate if you can get him to hit it on the ground for a double play.
That's where you want to miss. You want to pound the knees and miss low. Throw a breaking ball, same thing. If you're going to miss low.
That one is into left field, a base hit. Seager going to be waved home. Slater's throw, and the tag by Posey got him. Had so much time, even though the throw was a few feet offline, Posey was able to get back there and put the tag on.
Well, and Austin Slater has a good arm. Scott Brocious really rolling the dice here from the third base coaching box. I mean, Kyle Seager's got pretty good speed, but still, I mean, it's a 1-out jump. He's not going to get a lot of help because of the out number on the board. But look at the throw from Slater. It does go up the first base line a bit, but in plenty of time for Posey to get it and put the tag on.
A 2 down, game remains tied 2-2.
Good hop right around the waist, and just a one hop, or not even a one hop, or a strike to Posey.
That's a one hopper.
This is good.
Well, it's a good reminder that the throw doesn't always have to be perfect. You get the quick release and get a lot on it and get it in the neighborhood. You give the catcher a chance to make a play. And that was a job well done by Slater. Radio, who homered his first time up, is ahead of the count here, 2-1. Two.
Good hard slider. That's his best slider right there. Take a look at the tag from Posey. Plenty of time. Not even close.
On the ground to third. And Andy Suarez, with some help from his defense, does some damage control. Bases loaded, nobody out. Mariners get just the one, and thanks in large part to that. Good play by Slater and Posey.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. We go back to August 19, 2017. Giants taking on the Phillies, and this Denard Span led off the game with an inside-the-park home run on the first pitch thrown by Jared Eichhoff. It was the first inside-the-park home run to lead off the game in San Francisco history.
The ball was kicking around. The helmet went kicking around. Fun moment for a good guy, and I was always sorry that I thought it was a good fit when the Giants brought Denard Span in. It didn't end up as successful as the Giants would have hoped.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and we wish him well. I mean,
he is playing pretty well here in Seattle.
296 for the Mariners. I mean, he's really done a great job for him, and he's just great in the clubhouse. I mean, he's just a good teammate.
So we're back to square one here, 2-2. Trying to get it going behind the count 0-2. Lead off inside the park home run. Remember, well, the stats go back to 1917. We're still talking about a century of baseball, and it's only happened 6 times. That never happened for the San Francisco Giants until that.
Well, a lot of those were hit at Polo Grounds, which was kind of a ballpark built for inside the park home runs.
Triples and inside the park home runs. And homers and a lot of other things if you pulled the ball. Two and two. Well, Brandon Belt's had a really good year. Giants desperately need him to get it going again. He's just such a big part of this offense. When he is going well, it's a totally different offensive team. Struck it out swinging. The one out. McCutchen comes up. How about how far would you go for a Togo? Brought to you by Togo's Pretzel Rami. This was McCutchen on Sunday at the Coliseum. And you hear the reaction. That's what the Coliseum sounded like all weekend long. Giants fans, A's fans going back and forth. That was a huge home run that we thought might win the game for the Giants.
Mid-season playoff games.
It really felt like it.
Great baseball. And Bruce Bochy was talking about his team today as we were in his office before the game, talking about how well both teams played, the comebacks. And I think that was the one thing that he really was most impressed about was the Giants. They were down late to a great bullpen, and they came back a couple times. Those are the things that excite a manager. Comebacks, late inning heroics.
On the ground is short. McCutchen's got good speed. Segura knew just how much time he had to throw him out.
How about that little guy? The Giants fan who likes the Mariners.
Yeah, we're mixing and matching there. Giants shirt, Mariners hat. I'm fine with that combo. If you want to have a National League team and an American League team, seems to me Mariners and Giants are a good 1-2 punch.
A lot of similarities in the cities.
Cities, ballparks. The biggest difference lately is the playoffs, the postseason. Yeah, the Mariners have much less overall baseball history. That goes without saying, but I really, it's every time I think about it, Posey to right field, and that'll be on number 3. It's amazing. The Mariners have the longest playoff drought of any franchise in baseball. The longest. Hard to believe. Beautiful night in Seattle. Middle 5. It's 2-2.
Polynesian Heritage Night at AT&T Park. Your Polynesian Night ticket package will include a Hula Beach snow globe and a ticket to see the Giants take on the Brewers. Go to sfgiants.com/special events and check it out.
You didn't even know you needed one of those.
I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that. We're going to need that for our trip to Hawaii this year.
Yeah, you're right about that. That could be on every table as a centerpiece. I can see it now. That's always fun when you get D. Gordon out on one pitch.
Yeah, one pitch outs to start an inning. It's like manna from heaven. It's a gift you didn't expect.
And really, when it's D. Gordon, if you just get him out, period, that's huge because he's a terror once he gets out on the bases.
22 stolen bases this year.
And this guy's sort of the same way. I mean, he's a much different hitter. He's got more power than D. Gordon. But he's got 15 steals. He puts pressure on the defense. I can't imagine there's many more dynamic 1-2 punches at the top of the lineup than Gordon and Segura. That was a good curveball.
Well, and the dynamic they bring is speed, and you just don't see that very often anymore. The combination of these two guys, they've got 37 stolen bases between them. That's a big intimidator.
We have a lot of speed in the game. We have a lot of athleticism in the big leagues. We just don't have a lot of speed that gets turned into stolen bases. Teams just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because of how it upsets the rhythm of the pitcher. You get a guy in first base, and you know he's a base stealer. You have to pay attention to him. You have to be worried about his rhythm as well as the rhythm of the hitter you're pitching to. And it can upset you. If for no other reason, that reason, I think, is worth a guy who's a base stealer. Just to mess with a pitcher. Pitcher makes a mistake, somebody jumps on a hanging breaking ball or a fat fastball, all created by the guy at first base. Good pitch.
Well, I agree with you. And I know a lot of teams, because the home run is so much more common, just figure, hey, you can't make it out on the bases. The guy at the plate might hit it over the wall. That's a pop-up into shallow center field. It'll be Tomlinson for out number 2.
That's a nice victory right there for Andy Suarez. I mean, he was down that count 3-1 to a good fastball hitter. And he went right at him with hard stuff. Gets the pop-up.
So 2 down for Mitch Haniger. But I think the Mariners are a pretty good demonstration. You can have it both ways. The Mariners hit a ton of home runs. You got Haniger, you got Cruz, you got Seager, you got Healy, all these home run hitters. Zunino, Robinson Cano when he gets back, and yet they still steal bases.
I used to love it when Joe Gargiulo used to talk about speed, and he would say speed has no slump. And it's especially important in September and October.
The right center field, Duggar with all of his speed will cut it off.
And when you're in a game in October, sometimes the bats just go silent because the pitching's so good. All of a sudden, you get a guy on base, and you get a guy who can steal a base for you. I mean, we know how important 90-foot victories are in the postseason, and speed can do that for you.
Well, that was a pretty good looking pitch from Suarez and a nice job hitting by Haniger. That gets some of that power to the plate with a runner on. In the tie game, Nelson Cruz, who singled to start the 4th inning rally that tied the game 2-2. Trying to unload.
That's every swing.
It is. That is not news with Nelson Cruz.
It's home run derby with every at bat.
It has resulted in a lot of home runs. This is his 4th year with the Mariners. He hit 40 plus each of his first 2, hit 39 last year. He's got 22 this year.
Quick bat.
And he is the kind of guy, I mean, when he signed here, I think everybody thought, bad ballpark for him. That'll hurt his power. Ballpark doesn't matter with him. 2-2.
.355 lifetime homers.
Got jammed though by Suarez. Crawford's going to go to second for the force out there. And Suarez works around that 2-out single. We will go to inning number 6. Pence, Crawford, Slater coming up.
After the post-game show, Grant Brisbee and Teresa Vignal will bring you a fresh take on the game this season on Giants Outsiders tonight after Giants post-game Monday.
Fun show. They get goofy every once in a while, but also some very insightful baseball observations. Check it out. Pence took a rip.
Grant and Therese going to be a mama.
I don't want to say soon. I don't think it's any day, but we're getting there.
She is definitely getting there.
Very exciting. Pence against Bradford, who came in relief in the 4th inning, got the final out, then had a quick 1-2-3 5th. Stays in the game in the 6th. 2-2 tie, Giants Mariners.
Well, a view from the upper deck in right field.
One thing that is great about this park in the summertime, we're so far north. And to left field. And that one is way gone. Hunter Pence has unloaded off the facade of the upper level. Giants back in front. That is his first home run of the year.
Boy, he got a hanging breaking ball. And he just unloaded.
He's still got that power.
That was loud. You talk about a hanging breaking ball, and this is what happens. You get a hanger up around the belt. It just sort of lays in there, and it just seems like it's on a tee.
So Hunter Pence has put the Giants back in front 3-2. Brandon Crawford takes a strike. Good for Hunter. He's had a lot of good at bats lately. Crawford scored the second Giants run. He's 1 for 2. That's why his manager made him the designated hitter.
You're right. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Bring some offense as a DH.
That looked designated hitter-ish. Crawford the second. Gordon will flip to first.
Take a look at the swing. Big leg hitch. Gets his hips gathered. Gets that foot down just in time. See ya. See him hit the ball like that, you're thinking, well, how is that his first? Because the power is still in the hands. And that last swing of the bat was testimony.
You hit one like that, you get to talk about it a lot when you get back to the dugout. And since he's the DH, you can just keep on talking about it. He doesn't have to go out in the field in the next half inning.
It is a weird thing. When you're a National League player, you used to play in the defense after an at bat. You come to an American League team, you're a DH, you hit a home run, and the whole team goes out there. You feel like they're leaving you behind on the bench. You know, a guy who used to have a hard time being the DH was Barry Bonds.
He didn't really like it. I mean, I think he liked later in his career just the chance to get off his feet a little bit. But I think Buster Posey's been like that when the Giants have used him in American League ballparks to take a load off as the catcher. That was an impressive home run, though. Just missed. Maybe, you know, Hunter has had a knack as a pinch hitter. We'll look at the StatCast data.
Well, almost 105 miles per hour, 445 feet. That's a big potato right there.
4.45. One of the biggest home runs from any Giant all year. To be specific, third longest by a Giant.
Yeah, that was very Mac Williamson-like. Right
He
there.
might have the top two, Mac. Full count here to Austin Slater. Himself, he's got maybe more power than it looks like. Austin's not he's a strong guy, but he's not a towering physical presence the way that Hunter Pence is, but he's got a lot of power.
Still in great shape.
I don't know. Hunter seems to have a knack as a pinch hitter. Maybe you can trick yourself into thinking if you're the DH, every at bat's like a pinch hit at bat.
Yeah, guys do that. Second strikeout for Bradford.
That will be the final pitch that he throws. With Steven Duggar, the left-handed hitter, coming up. Scott Service is making another pitching change. Giants have gone ahead on the booming home run by Pence. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. The San Francisco Giants into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Just a spectacular night here in the Pacific Northwest. Giants have gone ahead 3-2 here in the top of the 6th, and a new pitcher, a guy who's really turned himself into an excellent piece in the Seattle bullpen. James Pazos, a left-hander who throws hard.
And he's the only lefty in that Mariner bullpen. 40th time he's come into a game with a 2.43 ERA and 33 and a third innings. Look at the strikeouts. 30 against 5 walks. And he's basically a two-pitch guy. He's a fastball slider guy. Fastball can go low to mid-90s. And a good hard slider.
Two outs, nobody on. Steven Duggar comes up for the Giants. The Pence home run has put the Giants ahead. Duggar's 0 for 2 in this one. We've seen good at-bats from Duggar against left-handed pitching. Even tonight in the 4th inning against Elias, had a long, determined at-bat with a couple guys on base, ultimately struck out. After that fastball off the plate inside.
Pazos, he's a big fella. 6'2", 240. Second year at the big league level. Out of Gilbert, Arizona.
One and 2.
Mid-90s as advertised.
Doesn't throw quite as hard as the Mariners closer, Edwin Diaz. If we see him, he throws. There are a lot of hard throwers in the game these days, but almost as hard as anybody. 1-2. Went back in. That was close.
Well, you saw the reaction from Pazos. He thought he made the pitch. He didn't miss by much. Tried to nibble that inside corner at 94.
Two. Duggar a little bloop into shallow left field, and it's going to get down base hit. Well, the value of hanging in there, taking a close pitch, and finding a way to at least get the bat on the ball.
Kind of a hang and breaking ball, but I mean it's one you can easily get jammed with, which is what happened. Duggar thinks this is going to have a little more break to it, so in the defensive mode, fights it off, hits it up around the label, winds up being a thang. So Giants get a guy with speed out there on the base paths with 2 outs. If you're thinking about a stolen base, Duggar not really a big base stealer. The most he ever had in the minor leagues was 9. That same year he got thrown out 7 times.
Well, as we say that, he got a great jump and he steals second easily.
That's the jump of the year.
Yep.
I mean, he goes on first move. That's a total one-way lead. Get off a big lead, and whatever. If you get picked off, so what? You're going on first move to second base.
That is smart baseball. That's a great spot to do that. And Tomlinson with a smash, but Healy found a way to get the ball in his glove. Off the bat, I thought that was going to turn into a run. The Giants did get a run, though, with a big fly. 445 feet. You watch that thing hit off the facade, and you wonder, how is that home run number 1? 3-2 Giants. 32, Andy Suarez against the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Mariners. Kyle Seager. It's ball 1. That Suarez slider. Unusual numbers for Kyle Seager in that the batting average, on base average, lower than you'd expect. Power numbers there. Good third baseman. The older brother of Corey Seager. A very fine player in his own right. That is foul.
The way that Brandon Belt was playing Seager, I mean, he was right on the line. That ball didn't miss being fair by very much, but if it was going to get hit fair, I'm thinking that Brandon Belt probably would have had it. Maybe not.
I like the way you're thinking, though. It's either foul or he's going to get it.
Yeah. See Brandon Belt at first base hugging the line.
Two and 1 to Kyle Seager. Now it's 2-2. Younger brother out for the year. So what do the Dodgers do? Go out and trade for Manny Machado. A little dribbler, and that will kick foul. Thankfully for the Giants, literally kicked foul. MLB.TV available now at a lower price. That's good news. $82.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. There are blackout and other restrictions. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of that special offer. Dodgers are still playing, huh, tonight?
Bottom of the 13th inning, all tied up 4 apiece. Phillies hitting.
Dodgers had I think a 4-1 lead in that game. Seager, opposite field approach, leadoff single.
Yeah, and that really is an example of a power hitter that made a 2-strike adjustment. As you see Reyes Moranta start to get heated up in the Giants bullpen.
Well, one thing, Bruce Bochy can be aggressive with his bullpen tonight. Giants had the off day yesterday. Juan Nicasio, Nick Vincent, 2 guys we know well from time in the National League West, both warming up. That's on the Seattle side. Separated by a wall out there. Here's the divider.
Kind of a sound buffer too.
It's a pretty thick wall.
I always like bullpens that had the best acoustics, because the bigger noise you made, the harder you thought you were throwing.
You want to hear that whap. Ground ball should be 2. There's 1. There's 2.
We talked about Andy Suarez, and it's one of his strengths, being able to get that ground ball when he needs it. I mean, those are the little things right there, I think, that jump off the page when you see a young pitcher able to do that, because that's normally something that you acquire when you get to this level. That's something he's been able to do since he first took the rubber at the big league level.
It really is true. He had the one stretch very early in his major league career this year where he got 6 of them in a span of 2 starts. I think he got 3 in one, 3 in the next start.
Well, he's got 3 pitches he can do it with.
Yeah,
the 2-seam fastball, the sinker, the slider, and which he calls a cutter, and a curveball. All those are downward breaking, sharp pitches. And they all get ground balls.
1-1 to Span.
Life is good when you can do that.
It's such a baseball cliche to say pitcher's best friend, but it is.
Oh, man. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
even here in this inning, it's a 1-run lead. It's the 6th inning. You lead off hit after you battle a guy for a bunch of pitches, a lot of foul balls. And you're thinking, well, here comes power, and it's the go-ahead run, and 2 outs, nobody on. Now 2-2 to Span.
Span was letting out some shaft there.
We've seen Denard show some power. He's got 8 home runs this year.
Yeah, you know, he gets him when he tries to hit him. And he knows this is a situation where, hey, it's a 1-run ball game. I got a 2-1 count. I'm going to go for it.
I would never compare. It's unfair to compare anybody to Ichiro. But we watched Ichiro take batting practice before the game. He still takes BP, even though he's retired as a player, not playing on the active roster. But that was always, I thought, the case with Ichiro, where the power was in there.
One of the most remarkable athletes I've ever seen.
Didn't miss by much. Ball 4.
Ichiro's a guy who, he came with such incredible hype that surrounded him. And you're just thinking, well, nobody can live up to this. And he not only lived up to it, he exceeded it. Don't say that about many people.
A 2-out walk is going to knock Suarez out of this game. Moronta coming in when it's time for a change. Think speedy oil. Over. Bruce Bochy decides to bring in a guy who's been so good. Reyes Moronta. Suarez talking about it with Kurt Young. I mean, overall, I think you'd say Andy pitched well tonight.
Oh, he pitched fantastic. This ballpark against this team. So right now it's Reyes Moronta who's coming in for the 48th time, and he's become a specialist at this, coming into an existing inning and minimizing damage.
That's a good specialty. You can pitch for a long time in the big leagues if you are a guy who can minimize damage, get a team out of a big jam. That's a great skill. Slider to Mike Zunino for ball 1. By the way, I just wanted to, because you were talking about Ichiro before we went to that break.
Yep.
I would encourage everybody who loves this game. There was a piece written before the year by Wright Thompson, who's a great sports writer, about Ichiro sometime in March. It is a must. It might be my favorite sports writing of the entire year. It was a tremendously fascinating piece about Ichiro. Everybody should go find it. Wright Thompson. That's it. Unpaid endorsement. Now we move on. Zunino, a pop foul, back out of play.
I'm looking up for it right now.
it is just, I was.
What was the guy's first name?
Wright.
Wright Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay.
A great writer. .89 pitches for Andy Suarez. 2-1. Off the plate with the breaking ball.
It is one of the really great things about the game of baseball is how it's written about. Some of the most incredible writers in our country.
I mean, that's not an exaggeration. If you made a list of the great writers of the 20th century, Roger Angel's on that list. And there are lots of others, but David Halberstam, Roger Angel, all kinds of over the years. Zunino right through that 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, and it's an art that I feel is threatened right now, and it's really upsetting. I love going back into the archives and picking out any year and just pick out the articles that are written about the game of baseball.
Denard Span got the running start big time, and Moranta walks Zunino. Well, if you want some modern baseball writing that will be guaranteed to entertain, you'll find that Ichiro piece. Pinch hitter coming up here for the Mariners, and that walk means the tying run is in scoring position. It's Ben Gamel. You see some hats with the built-in hair around this ballpark in celebration of Ben. Some big pitches to make here for Reyes Moranta. Flips a breaking ball in for a strike.
And Campbell's a fastball guy. I mean, I don't think you could throw one by this guy.
He's a good hitter. To left field, not deep. Slater has to play it on a bounce, and that will tie the game. That's where the walks really hurt.
Just doesn't hit it great, but fights off a high fastball. Giants had played him more towards the gap in left center, exposed a little line, and he finds it. So Andy Suarez no longer can qualify for a win tonight, but he's still on the line.
Misses with that fastball. The Giants have had 3 different leads that they have not held in this game. Now each time it's only been a 1-run lead. It was 1-0. It was 2-1. It was 3-2.
The one thing you worry about with a young pitcher, a rookie, is they overanalyze, especially a night where their team doesn't win or they don't leave with a chance to win. They're really hard on themselves.
You don't want that to happen with Andy Suarez tonight, because overall he pitched very well.
Just missed. Moranta not happy, so he needs to take a walk. Go hit the rosin bag. You don't really need to. This is the pitch he thought he had a strike. They set the target away, and Buster had to come back outside his pads to catch the ball backhanded, which is why he didn't get the strike. But it probably caught the strike zone in that inside corner.
Remember, it's the catcher running at second. That's the go-ahead run. With 2 outs. 3-1. There's a strike at 97.
He's taken all the way.
I think he was. It looked like it. That does help the Mariners if D. Gordon were to get a hit, because now Mike Zunino gets that head start with 2 down and a full count. 3-2. Gordon, 1 hop to Crawford, who throws to first just in time. But the Mariners rally. A 2-out hit ties the game. John will come back and join Mike for the 7th. It's 3-3.
Toyota dealer here at Safeco Field here in Seattle. It's all tied up 3 apiece. Andy Suarez 5 2/3 strong innings. Kelby Tomlinson really should be 3 for 3. He had a triple that got the Giants going offensively. And Guillermo Heredia, the #9 hitter, hits his 3rd home run of the year. That was a big swing of the bat. We're all tied up at 3 apiece. That's your Toyota game summary, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And right now, a new pitcher for the Mariners is going to be the veteran right-hander Juan Nicasio. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. 41st time he's coming into a ball game. Nicasio, a hard thrower. You're going to see mid-90s fastballs, a slider, and an occasional changeup. And here to tell you all about those fastballs, sliders, and occasional changeups, my pal John Miller.
All right, Nicasio to face the top of the Giants batting order, starting with Chase Darno, then Brandon Belt and Andrew McCutchen. 3 times the Giants have gone ahead in this game, and 3 times the Mariners have answered in the next half inning. 3-3. There's a fastball in for a called strike. Darno is 1 for 3. He has knocked in one of the Giants' runs. In fact, the first one back in the 3rd inning with an infield hit. Nicasio is the 4th Mariners pitcher of the game. Fastball is right in there for a called strike 2.
He's not looking for a fastball, not on the first 2 pitches anyway. Ben Gamble goes to right field. Mitch Haniger, who started the game in right field, is over in center field now.
One and 2 the count. Time is taken. right down the middle. Wow. Even with 2 strikes.
Well, I think this is a generation that guesses more than 2 strikes than any other generation before it. But 3 times in the same at bat, he took pipe fastballs, and that's one he's going to think about for a while. He is still looking for the slider, Miguel Cabrera style.
As in Miguel Cabrera on the final pitch of the 2012 World Series. So here's Brandon Belt. Off the outside, ball 1. Brandon Belt only 1 hit in 15 career at bats against Nicasio. We got the overshift on for Belt. That is a foul out of play off to the left. Darkness finally settling in over the city of Seattle.
Beautiful Safeco Field. Just a great, great feel in this ballpark.
Too high at 94 miles an hour. 3-1.
Nicasio, I mean, you always feel like this guy's been around forever. 31 years old. He's in his 7th year at the big league level. Came up with the Rockies in 2011. Then he went to the Dodgers, then Pirates, then Philadelphia. Last year St. Louis, and now Mariner. He's got great stuff.
And that will go back out of play. Belt is 0 for 3. In this game, is flied out to center and twice struck out.
Yeah, both strikeouts are swinging and miss strike 3s. I think those upset hitters more than called strike 3s when they swing and miss. Yeah, maybe not.
And he strikes out swinging for the 3rd straight time.
Good hard slider from Nicasio, back foot slider, and he gets him to hack at it. So 3 swing and miss strike 3s, and all of them have been just about down at the same spot. He is stone cold.
So Belt is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in this game. And now McCutchen will come up. Belt also has just 1 hit in his last 30 at bats. Going back before the All-Star break. That's a called strike right on the outside edge to McCutchen.
You know, that's the thing about guys who are streaky. I mean, they can carry a club, and then all of a sudden they go and hide for a while, and you don't hear much from them. And right now, Belt's going through one of those stages.
Foul off the right field side. Quickly 0-2 to McCutchen, who has walked, single to center, and grounded out to short.
Well, it'll definitely make you scratch your beard.
So I'm thinking of growing one just so I can start scratching it.
You ought to. You could pull it off.
1-2. The Giants are not getting production. Belt, McCutchen, Posey, Crawford. We talked about it much earlier in the telecast. And those are 4 key guys. There's Longoria. And they were hoping he'd be back tonight, but he got hit by a pitch on Sunday. It did not activate him for this game. Maybe tomorrow. And Segura throws out the hustling McCutchen by a step. Giants down in order. The Mariners with Segura, Haniger, and Cruz coming up.
fees. That's transparency. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by California's Great America. It's amazing at California's Great America. With roller coasters and water slides, all for one price.
Safeco Field in Seattle, heading to the last of the 7th inning. The Giants 3 and the Mariners 3. Pitching change for the Giants when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
So the workhorse, Sam Dyson, coming in for his 49th appearance, 2-2 on the year, 3 saves, 3.00 ERA. And for Dyson, he is going to face the 2-3-4 hitters here in the bottom of the 7th for the Mariners.
Gene Segura, one of the stars of the night in the All-Star game 1 week ago tonight for the American League, although he didn't get into that game until the 8th inning as a pinch hitter. A game that had only 4 runs scored up to that point, and then he hit a 3-run pinch hit home run. What you would have thought would have been the winning hit, but it didn't turn out that way. There were a lot more runs that got scored in that game. And the hard-breaking ball for a cold strike, 81 miles an hour on the inside.
That buckled Segura. You take your bats against Sam Dyson, you're thinking about mid-90 sink. You're not thinking about curveballs. And for a brief second there, Segura thought his life was over.
Struck him out.
Kind of uses off-speed stuff to kind of put him to sleep, and then finishes him off with backdoor 95. Big time sink. Beautiful pitch. Come around, just nibble in that outside corner. I mean, that velocity, that type of sink, and perfect location, that's a rough at bat.
So now Dyson to face Mitch Haniger. The Mariners' third place hitter with Nelson Cruz on deck. 3-3, last of the 7th. Starts ahead of him. And the outer half with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-1. 40,276 the paid crowd here at Safeco Field on this Tuesday night. Haniger has grounded out to third, flied out to right, and single. He was another guy who was on that American League All-Star team. It took a while for Torres to make the call, but that was it. Strike 3.
Well, they had the 0-2 count. They stretched the target away with Posey's target. I mean, he was really sitting outside. And that glove is completely off the plate. And look at the movement coming back in at 95. Hits Posey right in between the knees. And Carlos Torres, a plate umpire, said, yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Grab some pine. This guy is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Nelson Cruz now, 2 down, nobody on. That's 0-1. And this is a guy who he hit 39 home runs, and some fans in Seattle might have been a little disappointed. He had had 3 consecutive years of 40 or more home runs. One of the great home run hitters in the game. 22 this year. It looks like he's trying to hit a home run every time. That uppercut swing.
Oh, he absolutely is. That's what he's all about. But right now, Sam Dyson's throwing invisible pitches. They're not even fouling him off.
Oh, and 2 the count. 2 down, nobody on.
He tried to stretch out that target again. And that wraparound just missed the corner. Posey didn't move the glove.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Darno, and that is a perfect inning for Dyson. And we're going to the 8th. Posey, Pence, Crawford coming up for the Giants. Giants history, and fans get to pick the most memorable. To vote for tonight's matchup, go to NBCSportsBayArea.com or on Twitter at NBC Giants, NBCS Giants. Winner of this round will be announced on Giants Postgame Live. Vote for your favorite moment between 7-time defending champ Matt Cain, who had the perfect game in June of 2012, the first and still only in Giants history, versus John the Count of Montefusco's no-hitter at Atlanta back in 1976. We remember the Cain perfect game in 2012. Let's go back and remember Montefusco's no-hitter.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fly ball right. Mercer's going to catch it. Montefusco's got a no-hit, no-run game. Count Montefusco. Look at him out there on the mound.
A guy called it the two-man celebration with Gary Alexander and John the Count Montefusco. Bobby Mercer making the final play.
He did not get a perfect game. He walked one in that game, and it was a 9-0 Giants win in Atlanta. That's called a strike to Buster Posey.
And not too happy about that.
Questioning that call as the new pitcher, Alex Colomé, former closer for the Tampa Bay Rays, has come in when it's time for a change. Think speedy oil change and auto service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Buster was struck out twice and flied out to right center. 0 for 3 in this game.
Colomé, you'll see mid to high 90s fastballs and really good hard slider from a high three-quarter release, which gives him tilt on that pitch, which is a straight down movement. It's a big time strikeout pitch for him, for righties and lefties. He is the setup man for this bullpen.
Another 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Mariners began this night with only a 2.5 game advantage over the Oakland Athletics for the final American League wildcard spot. And they couldn't perhaps help but notice that Oakland, after trailing 10-2 going into the 7th inning, came back and won that game over Texas in extra innings. 13-10. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Stephen Piscotty homered in the 9th inning, leading off to tie the game. And then in the 10th inning, Chris Davis. Remember, Davis had 2 homers against the Giants on Sunday. He hit another one in Texas last night. Hit a 3-run homer tonight in the 10th inning to break the tie. And Yuris Familia, who pitched 2 innings and got the win against the Giants Sunday, pitched 2 more tonight to get the win. Trinan got the save. Buster's got a base hit.
Two-strike fastball. It really was a mistake location from Colomé. He left it out across the letters, out over the middle of the plate. Sixth inning, the big swing of the bat. Hunter Pence, his first home run of the year. It's about 105 miles an hour. Hit it 445 feet. So he's got that good feeling in his hands as he steps in to take his at bat against Colomé. And he's going to look fastball first pitch.
Chopper foul. 0-1. Well, with the estimate from StatCast of 445 for Pence, that would be the 3rd longest, according to StatCast, by a Giant this year. Mac Williamson, the longest, all the way back on April 23rd. And then Pablo crushed one on June the 6th. And then Pence tonight. Healy on the bag at first with Buster Posey. Nobody out.
Cutter. Good one. Such a subtle pitch. Doesn't have to be a big movement. If it's late, if it's quick, if it's deceptive, you get a lot of swing and misses.
So Pence quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Pence with that first home run of the year, it came on his 126th at bat. You see him hit a tape measure shot. You keep thinking, well, there must be a few more in there. 0-2 the count. And that is all. 3 pitches, strike 3.
Well, that cutter is his magic pitch. And the leadoff single and a 2-strike count to Posey, and all of a sudden he goes right to the magic pitch. You can see that big movement, straight down bite at 92.
So now Brandon Crawford will come up. Crawford has had 1 hit, a single to center, that started a rally in the 4th inning. He scored in that inning, the Giants' 2nd run of the game. He's also struck out and grounded out. 1 for 3. Posey, the runner at first, 1 out in the inning. And that's back out of play. This is the first time Crawford has ever batted against Colomé.
Well, it's hard to describe his slider, and you see what's he got. Well, he's a 2-pitch guy, fastball slider. That doesn't really tell you the story about Colomé. Because of the high 3/4 release, you get straight down movement on that slider, and it's not a big one, but it's high velocity. It's got depth to it. And it's a magic pitch.
0-2. Colomé had 47 saves last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. Been a premier closer in the American League the last couple of years. And he had 12 more saves this year with Tampa Bay before the Mariners acquired him, along with Denard Span. That's a double play ball. 2nd for 1. Segura to first. Double play. Still 3-3. Seager, then Healy coming up for the Mariners.
Saturday the 28th is the Giants Wall of Fame induction ceremony. And you can join the Giants in honoring the 2018 inductees, Matt Cain, Ryan Vogelsong, and Brian Wilson. The ceremony starts at 2 p.m. on King Street between 2nd and 3rd Street. Stick around after the game and you can watch the Giants take on the Brewers at 6:05. The first 20,000 fans will receive a heat reactive mug courtesy of Bigelow Tea. Get your tickets at sfgiants.com.
Always a great time, and there'll be several former Giants and whatnot there to help honor those three.
Tony Watson, the new pitcher now for Bruce Bochy, 47th time he's come in. 2-3 with a 2.03 ERA.
Kyle Seager, lefty versus lefty. Giants had the overshift on, and Crawford playing the second base position throws him out. So even though he was playing in effect second base, it will be scored as a shortstop to first base put out. So one out. Here is Healy. Almost every Mariner in this lineup is a threat to hit one out of the ballpark.
See, I think they need to do something about the official scoring, because we've seen times when the third baseman goes into right field on a defensive shift and there's a ball hit to straightaway right field and the third baseman gets it and the play goes 5-3.
It doesn't really tell you when you look at the scorebook what actually happened.
No, it doesn't.
Which is the whole point of the scorekeeping. Healy, who hit 2 home runs in the Mariners' previous game, which was Sunday, has a single, a walk, and he is grounded into a double play.
Well, Edwin Diaz, 37 saves. Edwin Diaz. That's not counting the save he had in the All-Star game. Warming up now for the Mariners in their pen.
He didn't get a save in the All-Star. He blew the save.
He doesn't count the blown save he had in the All-Star game.
It was kind of a shock, wasn't it? Scooter Gennett hit a 2-run homer against him to tie the game in the 9th inning. And that fastball is in there. 2-1 now to Healy. And he's a nightmare for a hitter. Diaz comes in throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Two and 1 the count to Healy. The Mariners have won 60 games and Diaz has saved 37 of them. Two and 2 the count. Shot foul off to the right. I guess the Yankees tried to add to their bullpen. They picked up Zach Britton from Baltimore today.
How many closers have they got in their bullpen now?
The Yankees trying to shorten the game. There's Diaz in the Mariner bullpen getting ready for the 9th inning. Hit really hard, but right to Darno. 2 down. That was a ground ball to the third baseman who actually was playing third base.
Yeah, see, now that when you say 5-3, that's what I'm thinking 5-3 means right there.
On my scorebook, when there's a ground ball to the shortstop who's playing second base, I put 6-3, but then I put in parenthesis above the 6, I put 4.
See, there you go. That's how you could correct that. We should suggest that to all of our official scorers who are listening.
2 down, nobody on. Denard Span. Denard's got some power. You got to respect that. In this game, he's grounded out to first, hit a sacrifice fly to left. That tied the game in the 4th. And then he got a 2-out, nobody on walk in the 6th and started a rally and scored the tying run. 3 times the Mariners have come from behind to tie this game. Tony Watson on the mound with 2 down, bases empty. Watson facing Denard Span. who's had 2 hits in 5 previous at bats against him and a couple of walks. Called strike 2.
Beautiful slider, perfect location.
Giants in the 9th inning would be scheduled to have Slater, Duggar, and Tomlinson come up as we look at that slider again.
Looked like the way he took that, he was thinking fastball in.
That's just what he got there, and he gets the put out. Does Tony Watson, who has a perfect inning. And now the 9th. 3-3. Giants and Brewers coming up on Thursday when the Giants get home from Seattle. 7 o'clock with an hour-long pregame live starting at 6 on NBC Sports Bay Area. Also streaming live on NBC Sports app. Don't miss anything about the Giants this season. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Brewers in for 4 starting Thursday. That'll be the whole homestand. The Giants go back on the road after that series. 3-3 the score as Edwin Diaz, the 24-year-old closer of the Mariners, 37 saves, as you mentioned, Mike.
Right, look at the strikeouts. 80 strikeouts in 49 innings. You're going to see high 90s, 3-digit fastballs, and a hard slider. Swing and miss both pitches. Swing and miss pitches.
Duggar, or rather Slater, at the plate. Duggar on deck. Slater has lined out to left center, singled to center, and struck out. Yeah, pretty good rip at that one. Fouling it back over the screen. Strike 2.
The 2-pitch guy, man. You can see what the league's hitting against it. 193 against the fastball. As we mentioned, high 90s and 100 on occasion. And they're hitting 101 against the slider. So 2 pretty good weapons, which explains the 37 saves and the 80 strikeouts in 49 innings.
Here's Duggar on deck. And that is all for Slater. Diaz from Puerto Rico. And he spent many years in the Mariner farm system after being drafted by Seattle back in 2012. He was a 3rd-round draft choice. Just a little bit high, and Ruled a swing by the third base umpire.
That is a
Ramon
quick
De Jesus.
trigger finger from De Jesus. You saw one early in the game was out there in the 50-50 zone. I think this was worse. Let's take a look. No chance. Bad call.
And that is called strike 2.
You hate giving a strike to any pitcher, but when a guy's got dominant stuff like Edwin Diaz, giving up a strike, the difference between an 0-1 and a 1-0, that's a major difference.
Duggar got a single his last time. He's 1 for 3 in the game. That is a base hit. Gordon was playing him to pull. Shaded toward the hole on the first base side, and he couldn't get back to it. The ball hit hard by Duggar. That's impressive hitting. And now Alan Hansen is going to pinch hit for Tomlinson.
Nice 0-2 at bat. 2-hit night now for Duggar. And the Giants have speed on the base paths.
Now you got a guy with a great arm behind the plate, Zunino. And as is the case with many closers, Diaz does not always hold runners extremely well. And that's a ball outside. Pablo Sandoval has come out on deck. Chase Darno due up after Hansen, and Pablo is in the on deck circle. There he is. Duggar got his first major league steal earlier tonight. A throw in the dirt, scooped up by Healy as Duggar made it back safely.
1.34 seconds unload time. That's slow. Average is 1.25. But the point you make about Zunino, I mean, he has an excellent arm. The catcher can make up for it with a quick release and a strong arm. But it is an opportunity to steal a base.
Back to the bag is Duggar. Giants 3, Mariners 3, ninth inning. One of the premier closers in the American League on the mound now in this interleague game against the Giants.
Magic pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes now. Hansen with a 278 average. Hitting from his strong side, hitting 298 left-handed. And he's had 6 hits in 11 at-bats pinch hitting. And he's had great success in this role.
Let's see another slider here. I mean, the beautiful thing about a magic pitch, from a pitcher's perspective, when you throw a pitch like Diaz does and a guy swings through it, immediately that hitter starts trying to figure out how I can correct my swing. How can I make the adjustments to get to that pitch?
There goes Duggar. Well, Duggar makes it into second, and the underhanded feed to first retires Hansen.
A nice jump. But any adjustment you make as a hitter is always going to get back to one thing. You have to see it to apply your adjustment. And that's the thing about a magic pitch, is you just don't tip it with rotation. And that's kind of what the success of Edwin Diaz's slider has been. It just doesn't tip itself because of the spin, and guys don't see it.
So here's Pablo as a pinch hitter. Sandoval hit a 2-run double as a pinch hitter against Lou Trevino of Oakland on Sunday. And that one hung high and outside, and immediately prompts the catcher Zunino to run to the mound to talk to his young closer.
Now, Pablo Sandoval, we all know from the left side, is a good low ball hitter, and that magic pitch that Diaz is throwing, that hard slider, that's going to drop below the strike zone. And if there's anybody on this Giants team that was born to hit that pitch, you're looking at him.
Runner in scoring position, 2 down. And a fastball at 98 miles an hour.
And they're not throwing it. 2 pitches, 2 fastballs. They're not throwing it yet. So now he's at least seen it.
One ball, 2 strikes. The Mariner fans on their feet now. Slow tapper. Gordon was out in right field. The barehanded pickup. It's off the glove. And here comes Duggar with the go-ahead run. Dee Gordon was out in right field. He was in no position to make a play on that little slow tapper, but tried to make a play when there really was not a play that was available for him, and it cost the Mariners a run.
You don't see a guy score from second base and the ball doesn't get hit off the grass. But there you see how deep Gordon is. And he really should take a bite out of the ball. I mean, it's a problem about being a Gold Glover is you think you can make every play, especially with the game on the line. And Ryan Healy had no chance at first base.
Four to 3 Giants. Now Brandon Belt, a high foul down the left field line a bit and well out of play. Belt is 0 for 4 with 3 straight strikeouts. Pablo Sandoval gets an infield hit and an error to Dee Gordon, allowing Duggar to score. Up and away at 98 miles an hour.
See how deep Gordon is. Ball never gets to the grass, barely gets past the baseline. And an errant throw, and even if that ball would have been a strike, it could have eaten up Healy. It was so close, and he threw it so hard. It's just a play he shouldn't have tried to make.
Brandon Belt behind in the count, 1-2. Dee Gordon is out there in right field again for Belt. Nobody at third base. They've got the total overshift on. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Belt. The Giants have Will Smith, the closer, up in the bullpen. The Mariners will have their numbers 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Dee Gordon will be due up third in the last of the 9th. Strikes out swinging for the 4th consecutive time. The Giants have gone ahead. 3 other times they have gone ahead and not been able to hold the lead. Can they do it here? We'll soon find out.
And for Smith, who has inherited the role of closer, he's going to get an opportunity here. He's been successful 3 of 4 times. This is what he's going to come at you with. Fastball that goes low to mid-90s. Slider curveball combination that have really been his great 1-2 punch specialty pitches. And he'll also show you a change up on occasion. Not often, but he's got it and he will throw it. He's been a great story on this Giants bullpen staff this year. Came in late, getting off the DL. He'd been on for over 13 months with Tommy John surgery, and boy, he is really taking advantage of the opportunities given.
Mike Zunino, right-handed hitter with power, is flied out to left, singled and walked. 3 infielders to the left side of second. 1 ball and no strikes. You'll see how the Giants defense is playing. Belt all by himself on the right side of second, about midway between first and second. And that one curves in there for a called strike at 77 miles an hour.
Guys with good curveballs like it when a catcher calls it back to back so they can kind of zero it in.
Fastball in the hands, popped up, foul, and back out of play. So he's ahead of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. When we see most of the 94, 95-mile-an-hour fastballs from Will Smith, it's in these situations here where he'll hump up on a 2-strike count, try and buzz a guy across the letters. Breaking ball towards the back foot. If you're going to miss off the plate in. Perfect pitch. There you see the defensive replacement. Sandoval at third. Hansen at second.
2-2 the count. Struck him out.
Breaking ball, payoff pitch. And again, big break, and he leaves it right below the strike zone. And he gets Zunino to swing right over the top of it.
So now Ben Gamble, who came into the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, and bloomed a single into left to knock in the tying run then. Now he's facing the left-hander, Will Smith. 1 out, nobody on. And a called strike. And another lefty is on deck, D. Gordon. 4-3 Giants, last of the 9th.
Left-handed hitter, well, any hitter, to miss a strike and a breaking ball by that much. If you're out there on the mound, you're thinking, I can throw that again. I can throw that 10 more times. That's what you're thinking. That's how dominant that pitch was.
And he swung at it again. And Buster throws him out at first. 2 down. Well, he thought he could throw it again, and he was right.
You know, the other thing, too, is you're going to throw it again, and you can throw it below the zone, and you're thinking, I'm going to bounce this off a home plate. That's exactly where he wanted to throw it.
So 2 down, and here is D. Gordon. D. Gordon, who is a great butter, great speed. Pablo plays him very shallow at third. High in the air. Hansen, the second baseman. And the Giants have won it. The Giants get a lead for the 4th time here in the 9th inning, and this time they hang on to it. A save for Will Smith, retiring the side in order.
A big game, John, because of that, the way they won it and the way that their bullpen held on to him for them. And you think about the last couple of games that they had leads, they were not able to hold on to him in Oakland. This is a big win for this club.
So the Giants get the win. Watson gets the win, and Smith the save. And a great night here in Seattle for the Giants. Tomorrow's game, radio only for us on the KNBR Giants Radio Network. 110 first pitch. Thanks for joining us. And the final, once again, the Giants beating the Mariners here in Seattle. 4-3. John Miller for Mike Krukow and Dave Fleming. And again, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for Giants Post Game Live, presented by Toyota, starting right now.